So, by powering through, even when I feel like I can't do things, by powering through and washing the dishes, I actually shorten the amount of time that I'm in emotional distress that feels non functional. So, by improving my environment, I bring myself out of the funks because the environment significantly impacts your mental health. Hey y'all, it is me, Azalea. You're watching my YouTube channel, WayCrunchy. Today I want to talk about housekeeping and mental health challenges. So, one of the things that's been transformational in me managing my anxiety, my depression, my panic disorder, my post-traumatic stress, my borderline personality is minimalizing clutter, getting rid of stuff, and keeping the house up. My brain works better when my house is kept up. I am more high functioning when my house is kept up. So sometimes I struggle with mood instability or depression. And I feel like the rug swept out under me. And I cannot keep doing my productive stuff. When I'm feeling good and doing productive stuff, it just feels so great and I love to do it. But if I'm feeling bad, I feel like I can't do anything. So what I've had to learn to do is tell myself, I know you feel bad. I know you feel hopeless in this moment. I know you just feel like, what's the point? And that I get this black and white thinking, part of the borderline personality, where whenever I feel upset, it feels like I'm going to be upset forever. So, borderline personality, I've best heard described, I didn't invent this, someone else wrote this, is like being an emotional hemophiliac. So hemophiliacs, if they get cut, just a little cut, they might bleed to death. They just bleed and bleed and bleed and they can't stop. So I'm an emotional hemophiliac. Whatever emotion's being stimulated, I am going to bleed out that emotion. So when I'm happy, I am so happy. When I am inspired, I am so inspired. When I love harder than anyone you've ever known. But when I'm sad, it feels like I'm going to be sad forever. When I'm angry, it's all consuming like a fire. So, like today, I also have an extreme severe case of seasonal affective disorder. So, when the sun is not shining, whether it's summer or winter, because I have an extreme case, when the sun is not shining, if it is cloudy, if it is rainy, I struggle. So it is cloudy today. My little darling baby angel baby, night before last, did not sleep. He woke up a million times in the night, so mama didn't sleep. And he's been doing a lot of like cluster feeding at night, breastfeeding, but just like over and over again. Last night to the point that I could not make any more milk. And I was so stressed that he might not sleep again for a second night in a row. And I was sleep deprived and he was cluster feeding and I ran out of milk. And that's one of my true horrors in life is that I won't be able to breastfeed. And so, yeah, I was stressed. And so the more stressed I got, the less I could make milk. And I kept thinking, the less I make milk, the less he's going to be able to sleep, the more stressed I'm going to get, the less milk I'm going to make. And I swear, if Walmart had been open, I would have sent John for some formula because I was convinced that the baby was going to starve to death because I went one night where my milk supply just was not producing because of the cluster feeding and the sleep deprivation and then the stress that resulted. Anyway, today I'm feeling stressed and overwhelmed. And I was feeling, actually, he slept so good and his tummy's doing so good. And I felt so refreshed after getting a night's sleep. And so I was just kind of getting back to myself after a day of sleep deprivation. So today, I guess I would First of all, raise your hand if you are familiar with the terminology or the usage of spoons for chronic illness, whether it is physical or mental. It's just like, I don't have enough energy or brain capacity or emotional capacity. I have a certain amount of spoons, so I can only spend them on a certain amount of things. And I just don't have a lot of spoons today. Even though I got my good night's sleep, I was so depleted yesterday that I'm building back up spoons. And if the sun was shining, I'd be doing better, but it is not shining. I'm also out of bread and almond milk, and I know I'm going to have to go to the grocery store. I don't want to go to the grocery store. I had to do some shuffling around of my children and driving them around, but I have a little bit of time, and I felt my mood instability shift to very upset, very overwhelmed, and I was starting to wash the dishes, brush my teeth, do those sorts of things when I felt like my mood was swept out from underneath of me. And this is what today's video is about, is that I have learned to wash the dishes anyway, to brush the teeth anyway, even though it seems hopeless and pointless and sorrow. Probably in like 2 hours, I'm going to feel better, and I'm going to, feel so much better that my teeth were brushed, that I don't have a sink full of dishes. I've learned to tell myself that even when I'm feeling bad, even when I feel like I can't do the things, all right, you feel bad, you don't think you're going to feel better. You know what? Feeling bad with a sink full of dishes is worse than feeling bad with no dishes. So, by powering through, even when I feel like I can't do things, by powering through and washing the dishes, I actually shorten the amount of time that I'm in emotional distress that feels non-functional. So, by improving my environment, I bring myself out of the funks, because the environment significantly impacts your mental health. So, if I can be like, convince myself, this is next level mental health management, tell myself through learned experiences, even though it doesn't feel real, you're going to feel better in like 2 hours. If not in 2 hours, then definitely after you sleep tonight, you're going to feel better when you wake up in the morning. And you're going to feel even better if we do the dishes right now. So if you're going to feel miserable and terrible, you might as well feel miserable and terrible while you're washing the dishes. And this will transform your life, improve the amount of functional hours you have, improve your home for your family. The mental health of the entire family will improve when the shared living spaces are curated and upkept. And by shortening your own periods of struggle, you are shortening the amount of time that you're struggling while you're caring for your children. So, happy mama, happy family, and I can improve the amount of time that I am happy and functional by washing dishes when I feel like I can't wash dishes. Now, for me, one of the things that's always on my to-do list is create more content, because this is my passion. It is also my job, and I get part-time income from WayCrunchy. So not only do I have the benefit of talk therapy, the benefit of feeling seen and heard by my viewers, which is validating, I am marking something off my to-do list. And you want to know what? I felt like the rug was swept out from under me, and I was in a down mood when I started making this video, and now I'm in an upward mood. So keep doing the to-do list even if you feel terrible.